One of the biggest drawbacks to perhaps the best battle royale game to come out to date is that Call of Duty Warzone is plagued by cheaters and bot players that take the game to nearly unplayable circumstances. Welcome to Black Birdie COD, everyone. Every week we bring you new videos filled with tips, tricks, and the latest news for the Call of Duty franchise. If you find today's videos enlightening, make sure to tell us by leaving a like on the video. And make sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon if you want to have easier access to our videos in the future. But for now, let us explain how Activision just made it 10 times easier to cheat in COD Warzone. Warzone has undoubtedly become the king of battle royales, making players forget games like Fortnite and Apex Legends even still exist. You would think that a game that boasts such popularity among gamers that the developers behind the game would look for ways to appease their fanbase when issues arrive. But that sadly has not been the case for Warzone's developer Activision and by proxy Infinity Ward. It became apparent to everyone in the Call of Duty community quickly that Warzone did not have a good anti-cheat system in place, and that was something cheat makers looked gleefully on, as it was not hard for them to create programs that would exploit the game's system so others could cheat. The classic example of these cheats were aim hacks. These hacks would allow a cheating player to have their gun auto-lock onto the heads of enemy players to score critical damage without having the skill necessary to actually do so. These cheaters were able to auto-lock on the heads from extremely long distances, as these cheaters took into account bullet drop and tracking for player movement. It would be frustrating to run into your squad outside of the airport in Verdansk only to get gunned down by a hacker that had set up in the center of the circle all the way at damn. Players immediately took to the internet to voice concerns to developers, but seeing as how these issues have been handled in the game since early 2020, you can see they have yet to be handled. Now though, Activision has made it more difficult for players to report other users whom they suspect of cheating. One avenue to prove someone had inflated their score and skill by using cheats was to look at the Call of Duty stat tracker online that would reveal the top stats related to that player's account. If a user had an unreasonably high KDR or an insane amount of wins that are past reasonable, a player could then report that to Activision and hope that the suspected cheater is banned from the game if the suspicion is real. However, Activision made this nearly impossible by changing the way stats are displayed on the official COD stat tracker. Originally, the information on a player's stats was always visible, and anyone could look up the account name and view it. However, now Activision has made it to where the stat tracker will only show the stats of players if the user consents to it. They have to opt into displaying their stats publicly, as to earlier it was automatic. Activision claims to have done so to support player privacy, as those statistics are somewhat personal information. But what it has inadvertently done is allowed cheaters and bot accounts to hide the stats and information that would place them as hackers in the first place. COD lost its only reliable form of self-reporting from the player base now that the only way to convincingly find a hacker is to meet one in-game and collect evidence. But players aren't going to want to do that in the first place, as the general reaction to seeing a hacker is just to back out and find a new lobby, and maybe rage a little bit. Anyway, Activision's decision to hide player stats from the public view raises the questions if they are even aware of the consequences that this will do. Why would they do that knowingly, taking away an avenue for players to moderate their game's community for them? Could this possibly lead to an influx of hackers in games of Warzone due to the fact that they'll be reported less than usual? One can only hope that Activision decides to reverse this policy and they don't allow cheaters and bot accounts a way to actively hide their wrongdoing. How do you feel about Activision's decision to give players and hackers the ability to hide their stats? If you've got something you want to add to the conversation, tell us down in the comments down below. And don't forget to make sure you've clicked the subscribe button and bell icon before going off to watch another Black Birdie COD video. However, that's all we have for you today, and we'll see you in the next one. Catch you then.